Greetings everyone. Here we are, Orgone Generator World Headquarters with the RAD1000 Orgone Generator and a few items. I'll be doing a demonstration firstly on the anatomy of the RAD1000, a basic introduction, and then we'll get into a couple operations as we call them. Here's the RAD1000. It's plugged in, turned on. Easy as that. Proudly made in the USA by the only inventor of Orgonite and the Orgone Generator, Carl Vels. Make sure you're getting an authentic product from us. Not only do we provide the best warranty, customer service, but there are many copycats and phonies. OrgoneGenerator.com. Now, the RAD1000 is probably the most popular device for beginners. Popular first device. I love the design. I love the look of it. It's very easy to carry, and it's got all the essentials. Firstly, it pulses a constant stream of orgone, unlike knockoff Orgonite, which may actually be very harmful and may be made in a foreign country using slave labor. Unfortunately, a lot of the big Orgonite sellers buy cheaply made Orgonite from third world countries. It's not even really Orgonite. So it's plugged in, it's turned on. Pretty basic. Inside, you've got the trade secret electronic components. So far, no one has properly replicated the Orgonite stick pad, the 3 dials. Now, frequency is overrated in the community. These adjust the frequency, as you can see with the pulsing green light, the hertz frequency. However, with the RAD1000, you do not have the power to control the exact frequency. I mean, to set like, okay, 33 hertz. You could do that with a measuring tool, but really, as I said, it's overrated. And if you want to do that to the exact frequency, specific frequency, then you'll want one of the bigger, better devices, such as the PFC, the RAD2000, or ideally the RAD5 and ATG12. These are primarily for rates. As we discuss at length, Hieronymus, the radionics, one of the fathers, there's a misconception about frequency in radionics. Radionics rates have a value because of the value given to them by the practitioner. So if the number 2828 means something to you, then it means something to you. They've done tests where you can scribble a number and think of something, and then you see that same number a week later and you think of the same thing. Gee, it's not that complicated. It's pretty straightforward, but people think, oh, well, what's the rate for, my left big toe? I bought a book for $100 that says the rate is 328.12 only. So, those rates will work, but only because of the value assigned to them by the collective or by the practitioner. You can create your own rates. And what I tell people, which, you don't even have to use these. Truly, these are a tool, just like a bell and whistle on your car, that you don't need to use, but you certainly can. I personally use paper or the manifestation program. They all achieve the same outcome. It comes down to personal preference. So you've got the anatomy of the RAD1000, the silver output tube. It's beautiful, 99.99% pure silver. The Orgonite stick pad, if you open it up, it'll self-destruct. Just joking, but you probably won't be able to figure it out anyway. It's pretty well sealed. And the rate dials. Now these also adjust the frequency. We do that for the purposes of the practitioner, but like I said, with the RAD1000, you need not focus on that too much. And if that's a big deal to you, then you need one of the higher end devices. Okay, these are for setting rates. So we'll go through a few methods here. The first method is the traditional radionics settings. Now, we use a lot of terminology that we assign to things like basic action, trend, operation. That's our terminology. The stuff is really not that complicated. This is a simple tool that's got a wide range of uses and applications. You can get pretty advanced with it, but what matters is that it works well for you. So when I say a basic action, trend, environment, it's interchangeable with other mechanisms and ways of setting the device. First thing, you can just leave it turned on in your house. I'll give you something really simple. You've got it plugged in, you've got it turned on. We've got some oils here. This is an energy oil. Set that on the Orgonite pad, leave it on in your room, and enjoy the boost of energy. Many report that this works very well. Again, this is an experimental technology, cannot be used to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. Seriously, it is an experimental technology for those who enjoy it as a hobby. Relax and for fun experimentation. Set this on, see if you relax. If you don't, send it back, we'll give your money back. Simple as that. Okay, so these are very basic operations. You got what, 1, 2 components. You got the space that the device is in. You've got the oil. We'll add another component, the TC99 Orgonite pendant pair. You've got one here on the output. These are brand new, so I gotta work them in a little bit. Okay, all right. One with you, necklace, keychain, whatever. And you got the relax on there. You are carrying a transfer link to the relaxing synergistic oil blend, which has the lifeblood of those plants, and you're transferring it to the pendant. Bring it on yourself, you can give it to a friend, let them hold it, etc. Another simple operation. You can set many operations on a RAD1000 because it's a it's a compact device. Maybe you can do 3 to 5 people at once, and what you can do is you can set it up for equal and separate distribution, so you can run several operations and have them receive equal orgone output from the device. You can set it here, you can set it here. Really, you can set stuff to the side of the device, on top of it. The output works well, but there's an orgone field around the device. So if you're setting up a few different operations, as long as it's connected some way, then it's going to work. Okay? Self-esteem, energy. You can do a crystal. That's what I used to do a lot when I got my first devices. I would just put a nice crystal on here, let it fill the room, enjoy. See how that works. A pyramid, gold plated. Okay. Energizes the pyramid energizes the orgone. It's a nice combo. You can also just do it with a picture of this pyramid, believe it or not. Just test it out. You can energize your water, just plain like that. Now, with a basic radionics application, let's say I left my relax oil somewhere else at a friend's house. I'm home, I want to drink a glass of water, and I'm trying to energize the water with the essence of relaxation. Well, you can use the dial, shut your eyes, imagine something that relaxes you, the smell of the oil, a time you're very relaxed, someone you know who's very relaxed. And as you have something that's the abstraction, the thought form of relaxation, lock it in, and there it is. Your water is being energized with the abstraction you consecrated into the dial. You just got to test it. Now, this number We got intervals of 2, so it's about 40.9. You can write this down and reference it later. 40.9. Tell a friend, hey, dial your generator to 40.9, see if you feel relaxed. You can write it down, 40.9, and put it on here and not change the dial and achieve the same abstraction. How does that work? Well, it's a rate, not a frequency. It's basically an assigned value placed on a thought form. You know, that's why corporations use symbols. They develop a life of their own. There's a lot that's imprinted into the symbol, into the number, into the material world. All right? Okay, so let's do another one. Got your pendant here. You've got this with you. You got a big day at work. You've got someone coming in to audit your company, see who they're going to fire, see who makes the cut, maybe a little office space type situation. Well, I'll show you the other radionics technique here using both hands. This would be a more detailed radionics mechanism, but you can do it just with the one hand. Now, when you use both hands to set a rate, you're activating both sides of your brain, just like when you write using color, curves, or use a pendulum, muscle test, depending on how you do it. Okay, so this is another way to set a rate. It's an ideomotor response. Okay, so we're talking about work. Firstly, I'm going to energize myself. I've got the pendant with me, so the target's covered. And I'd like to make myself charismatic and likable. Well, get an idea of what charisma is to me. A time when I've been very charismatic. And lock it in. Okay. Now, using both hands again, this is your tool. It is a mechanism to be used by the practitioner. So the rate represents to you the abstraction you lock into it. Some people have described Orgonite like an organic computer chip. So you've locked in charisma, you've got your pendant with you, and you're off to work. Okay? Simple as that. Well, add another component. You got the next dial. Now, these are two related operations on one device. You can get really advanced with this, guys. So next, we're going to think of this auditor. If you've met him or her, ideally you have a business card you can put there. If not, you have a memory. And I'll tell it to you straight, even if you haven't met that person, then you lock in based on the information you have. Auditor, when you've got a good abstract idea, you've got a good, you've got a locked in essence of the auditor, set the rate. Where's the rate? It's like 72 on the money. It's interesting, okay? So again, you can write this down and reference it later. 72, auditor. And we want the auditor to love you, me, our protagonist. Okay, so think of the auditor, big smile. You could even think of what the auditor might be thinking about you. Man, that person's really attentive. Something about that guy I like. Okay? And maybe you could hear them, visualize them telling your boss that, you know, that guy's a winner. Something like that. Whatever thought, word, and feeling are the only creative powers in the universe. It's been said. That's a Saint Germain quote. So visualization is a powerful tool. You see people doing these manifestation workshops, mind maps, treasure maps, visualization boards, Joe Vitale, all those people. It's all the same components. When you're doing a Pinterest board, you're doing a manifestation chart, you are imbuing your imagination into the material in a representative tool that comes to fruition. Now, the difference here between radionics devices typically and those other tools is the orgone field produced energizes those settings. We've got it locked in. The auditor loves me. So you technically have a couple different operations here that are interrelated. Because in this example, just using it for one person, it's no big deal, okay? But there's a variety of ways to use these dials, okay? It doesn't have to, like, this has to be the target, this is the action, this is the trend. We show demonstrations like that with our lingo to make a formula for people to follow. And once you get the hang of it, there's a lot of versatility here, okay? So you bring this with you, and bada boom, you're locked and loaded. Now, this setting on the auditor functions beyond the pendant. However, like I said, because they're related. Now, the manifestation stuff, the vision boards, that's all energized by your personal energy. So when you look at the manifestation board every day, oh, there's my new house, there's my new car, there's a big smiling person, that's me. You're, giving your life force towards that goal and that reality. A lot of people talk now about the simulation. It's a very, of course, there's as many objective realities as there are living beings in the known universe. There's more. So the simulation, it's very real. Very real. So in that sense, what you're doing is energizing that reality. It's an electromagnetic pulse of life force, and it's headed straight to your target. Now, when you set these, know that it goes there. If you're setting it like, what was the, how was I supposed to? Well, you're imbuing that doubt, that uncertainty into the device. It doesn't have to be like, no one's going to come down and point and say, there it is, Just do it your best, and you'll get better and develop with time. And again, experience is the best teacher, and results, if it doesn't work, send it back. We rarely have people send these back, because once a person sees tangibly, wow, that happened because of the generator, strong stuff. Of course, again, the personal computer reference, the flat earth, maybe you're waiting for the rest of society to catch on before you test it out. Of course, there's never going to be any more new discoveries or, world-changing type technologies, right? Wrong. Now, I like to do written stuff. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. So, we'll take an example. Here, we'll get a little more complicated. First things first, if we're going to do several operations, set something that says equal and separate operations. So that's simple. Equal and separate operations. If you're using the programs, it's a whole different can of worms, and those are already equal and separate. But you can also do this. Maybe you're using a combination of the online program, the software, and excuse me, the rates. You can do that too. Once say your roommate's at your house, family, pet, and say your auditor already loves you and is saturated, the orgone is going to radiate into your house. That's right. Your house is saturated, your neighbors. Reverse entropy, the stronger always pulls from the weaker. Just think about that one. All right, equal and separate operations. Let's do one. Target, self. You could write your name, you could write your birthday, you could write self, you could write me. You could draw a stick figure that represents you to you, and there it is. Again, they've tested this stuff. You can check it out. Self, positive mood, optimism. Simple as that. You can put a picture of a smiley face. You can remember a time when you were very positive. You can underline it. You can make a symbol while you think of someone you know who's positive. Say, I want that person's positivity. So that person's positivity. And then positive mood, optimism. Okay. And if you want to apply it from the other person, depending on how your preference, you can write it out. John's positivity imbued into self. Me. You write your name. Hopefully you have better handwriting than me, but you just write it out. And really, you can get to the point where you just do it in symbols. So there's 1, 2, tomato plant in front yard, growth, high orgone content. All right, you could also just write tomato plant in front yard and it'll get the orgone. 3, let's say your friend, he's going gambling. He said, let me try out that futuristic device you got. Okay. Tim, good luck gambling tonight between 9-10 p.m. Think strategically. Opponents make mistakes. That's all she wrote there. Okay. That's right. There it is. Simple as that. If you got a program, you have a structural link card that links to your program. So your program has the same identical structural link, and you put that link here, and then all the operations on your program are energized by this. You notice I put it below. You can put it out in front. Okay, do it like that. You can start to get really fancy. You can do a lot of plants. Let's say you got a big garden. Well, you say charge my garden. You can put a picture of your garden there. Okay, test this one out. Minerals, here. Put the water in front. You can charge the water before watering your garden. That's a good way to go. Little OJ, you want to charge it with optimism. Maybe it's your kid's first day of school. Pour everybody some OJ. Write optimism. Charge the OJ. You can even show a picture of someone who's very optimistic. You can have a song that makes you feel optimistic on your program. You can even put the CD on here. If you think about it, all of these techniques are already used in the day-to-day. Pyramid, you know, stuff like that. You can charge your bottle of water. All right. And here's the power booster, just to show you how this works. There's ones for the bigger devices with the bigger tube, silver also, and the pendant is linked. So don't mix these up. If you do, it's not the end of the world, but they are linked. So these two are linked, those two are linked, right? So that boosts your output and it links. It's a heavy duty piece of Super Orgonite. So that boosts the output quite a bit. Bring this with you. You're linked to your boosted RAD1000. All right, enjoy. Start with that. Send any questions, call. You can call anytime. OrgoneGenerator.com, and we'll see you soon.